Okay, so we're going to do a full review of the Kentech installation software and configuration equipment, end up with backup. All right, and let's get moving. Of course, you need the equipment and the software. For today, we're going to use the demo version. You know, you go to kentech.com, you go to support, and you have demo software. Here, you can choose either the corporate edition or you could go with the special edition, right? Um, so the particularity is that here you will have no need of license because that's a demo version. You install it and it's next, and you're good to go. Also, it can be installed even if you have another EntraPass already installed in your computer. You will, however, need to just run one at a time, but you can have the demo version and a full version in your computer, just for you to know. Okay, so I download that and let's make a review on the step we're going to follow. We have a quick app note, say 10 step. With those 10 steps, you get your system installed, set up, communicating, tested, and back up. Step one is that to run the installation software. In the normal EntraPass, once you run the installation software, you're going to get a screen like this screen that you're looking at here. And that screen will be where to add the license code. All right. So when you buy the kit or the solution, you have a soft license. It came on by email, or you have it if you have the cover, the pack, you have a USB inside and you have the code. So you add that code and you hit next. And after that, I'm just doing a review. So you know those already just as a review. When you start the application, the first time you will get a very funny yellow password. You can enter that. It doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase, you enter that yellow password. And after that, you will have the OK. You will end up on that screen here. And there is a button saying click here to register. Okay, so then you do to the registration process to get a confirmation code. You enter the confirmation code and you're good to go. I explained that part because since we're going to use the demo version, this part is not there. You will not be able to see it. All right. Then I'm pretty sure software is downloaded already. So let's get to the download. I even have it twice. Yeah, I did download it before. Okay, so we're going to run the software. Software is, we're starting the installation. So we're going to do everything together. Let's wait for it. Windows, I said, and then I click one anyway. And my software, it's asking me here, showing that we're about to install the 851, which is the version available in demo mode. That's the latest version available in the demo mode. That will allow you to set up and do all your tests. You can do add controller, add up to 10 card. You can even do integration testing with video system. You can do integration with intrusion alarm system. All right. You can test your mobile application, EntraPass Web. You can test EntraPass Go. It is very, very useful, and you can, play as long and practice. So if you want to practice review your knowledge, right? That's the best way to go. You go on the kentech.com, as you just saw, you get the demo version, you install it, and you play with your equipment. Today we'll be using a KT1. I mean, I can show you here. You can see, I'm pretty sure you see my camera. Yeah, here I have a KT1 there. All right, and I have a reader there. I'm using a smart reader. I'm using the IO Smart, so we'll be able to see the IO Smart in smart mode. That reader can be used either in weekend connected, D0, D1, and buzz, LED, and power. It can be used as smart mode on RS485. That's what we will be using on that practice. So we'll be wiring a reader to the controller and everything else. I mean, actually, I'm using my demo kit here. It's a case where I have everything set, but we'll take a look in part of the review. All right. Then we'll also review the reset process, whether it's a factory um, default of the system or whether you have to put it on a static in order for you to access it to your computer. Then we'll get in the equipment to program it. All right. So we'll make sure to get everything done accordingly for your review or your learning, whether it's you go into it for the first time or you're reviewing it after training. So we'll be reviewing, so hoping that can be as helpful as possible. Moving forward with the installation. Getting there. Okay. All right, so now we're finally starting the installation. It was like unzipping and getting it ready. As you see here, I hit next, 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 and I'm gonna add the name. Please take a moment and add the correct name of, in your installation, of course, of your system, customer, and company. And you can see here that no license, no serial number has been requested. Now the installation is moving forward. It's installing the server, database, and the workstation. All right. Remember, that's the demo version. Almost there. Almost there. Installation is almost completed of the EntraPass Corporate Edition demo version in that case. After the installation is done, we will, as you see here, we'll start the software. Then we have a couple of preset. We'll make sure, for example, we need to confirm the IP address of the server gateway and add it there. We're talking about the multi-site gateway, the EntraPass gateway. Then we'll start after that with creating site, creating connection, and so on and so on. So that's pretty much after the installation is ready, we'll start the software. Then we will, as you see here, we'll go to make a configuration. It's a quick config. It's about for that to help us always get our site and connection at the right location. We'll go to option, system parameter, we'll go to workstation, and we have some option there. For example, whenever we're creating a connection and we're about to save the connection, we are able to set the software to ask us, all right, do you want to save that connection in a site? It can be asking, it can be a mandatory, or it can be up to you to remember. So we can set it as mandatory, so there is no way we're not gonna forget, because the software will make it mandatory to add the connection to a site. Then, and so on. So since we're going to see that together, let's see how we're doing here. Still working on getting the software ready. All right, so now the EntraPass software itself is installed. Now it's moving forward installing the EntraPass web, which is a second layer on the software where you could either go with the TIC client, the software installed on Windows, or you could go with the EntraPass web, which is, it's not a web page. It's not, but it is an station, a version of the software installed from the web. So now it's putting the server ready, which means after it's done, you could choose to install client of that version of EntraPass on any other PC that you want to by adding the address of the server with some particular, direction, and then you will be able to install the EntraPass web. So that's what is being done right now. The software itself is installed, ready to go. We're waiting for the web. Actually, it's setting up a web server, setting up the application, and then, so which means we'll have two versions of the software, the EntraPass Corporate Edition, that is mandatory. You have the server, client, and component. And after this is done and installed, it's installing the EntraPass web, which is a different layer, a different version of the software that you can use. Okay, that's what's being done now. All right, everything installed. Now we need to finally start with software setup and configuration. So we go, I have a couple of other software there, as I told you, remember. So we'll go with the EntraPass Corporate Edition demo. In that case, all you have to do is to get the workstation and run the workstation as admin. We do have another video on how to prepare your computer. I'm pretty sure you know that one, but just in case, we're going to add the link for you so you can review. This computer has been already prepared, which means you need to have local admin right. You need to add the port in firewall. And in case your antivirus also has a layer of firewall, you need to add the port in and out. All right, so those has been done, but we have a video, separate video to assist you on that, to remind you how and what need to be done. All right, so right now we're moving forward and waiting for the software to be ready for us. Then we'll go with those steps. Since, as I mentioned, the demo version don't require registration, so we'll go straight in this part here whenever it's ready. As you will find out soon when you're using the demo version, it's already added for you, the logging information. But you only have to update your password. All right, so make sure you update your password accordingly, and then you will be good to go. Bum, ba-dum. All right. Now, we have a message here. This one is about the legacy controller. If you only have new controller for KT1, KT2, KT4, or KT400 with updated firmware, you could just say yes and leave it disabled. What happened is that since version 8.40, there's been some tweaking and to get the protocol, security protocol, tougher. And by doing so, the old controller will not be communicating. However, if you have all the controller like KT300 and all the controller, you need to go to options, system parameter, firmware, gateway, and enable this. Enable legacy communication. In that case, as you can see here, enabling these prevent and increasing stuff like that. But by doing that, you will have communication with all, whether it's older or newer controller. Okay, fine. Now let's go and follow the step. We are that step to get your system assisting on configuration when you're creating site. So we go options, system parameter. We'll go workstation on the left, and here we can set it mandatory, or we can set it to prompt. Prompt, it will ask you mandatory to make it mandatory for you to add it to a site. Okay, so we have that taken care of. Then we need to get our gateway IP. Remember, by gateway, we're talking about a component of the software called gateway. So we go devices, gateway. And if your gateway is running, you come here. Normally a double click should be enough. Okay. Now, if the gateway is not running, you can check the IP. For example, if I'm going, you can do an IP config on your computer, or you can come here about, and it will show you the current IP detected in your computer. If you have multiple IP, you will have a drop down so you can see. Now you will, all right. So now we need to, whether you have multiple IP or one IP, you need to select the IP on the network you're going to use. In my case, here, very simple. I just have one IP. So here I'm gonna go add my IP information and I hit save. That's it. That's it for that part. Okay, so since I'm following the step-by-step guide, then what I have to do? Then I have to create site. All right. Remember, to create the site. So I'm going to create the site. How do we do site? A site is a logical component. For example, you have different location or you have different department. You could group them by site. In corporate, when I go to devices site, all right, site, we could, for example, have multiple KT1, multiple controller over IP. Let's make the example. Let's do it differently. For example, we have 6-door system, and unfortunately, because of distance or um, rules on the location, we're not able to have the controller in daisy chain. You want insert it, first controller cable going to the next and so on. So we end up having to create multiple connection because every time we have a controller over IP, it is a connection. So what happened is we have one system, one site really, but because of some situation, we're not able to have them in one loop. Okay, so this resolve the issue for us because even when I have 2, 3, 10, or whatever the number of connection, I could group them under the same site. So for these, I'm gonna create the site. I say demo GTI security. All right, that's the name of my site. I could add where the site is located, comment, and so on. All right, my site is created. So the site is not really the physical component. Like I said, it's a label allowing us to organize, grouping your connection and have a better organization, especially when you have when you understand when you're going to create access level permission for user, those are by site. Okay, now we're going to create connection. So I go devices connection. I hit new. Then I'm gonna say the connection is I have a demo KT1. I can. Okay, so you set your time zone, and here that's the physical, that's the equipment that you have. So here I'm gonna say based on what I have a KT1 that I'm going to use for that revision here. So I have KT1 and here I have to get the KT1 information, which means the MAC address of it and how I'm gonna set it up. My KT1, I'm gonna leave it DHCP, but it can be DHCP or static. It's up to you, up the way the network, uh, and so on. So let's get the MAC address of my KT1. MAC address is 5F. I only need the last 3 because the first 3 pairs are always the same. 0E and 53. All right. Now I check to see if my server IP is correct. Yeah, it's correct over there. Cool. Now I'm gonna hit save. So I'm saving the connection and here we go. Remember, we make a setup at the beginning where we ask the software to assist us. make it mandatory for us to select a site. That's why you just have that and it's asking you, all right, select the site. If the site was not created yet, we could just new and create it. Since we had the site already, so we say, oh, select the site and okay. Then we have Express Setup. I'm just gonna go ahead with Express Setup because I'm sure you know about the Express Setup. If not, we'll make the we'll add the link for you in that video and so you can review it because we have a video dedicated to Express Setup. All right, so I say yes, and then I'm moving with the programming. Now, take a look at I'm going to change the name here and look what happened when I change the name. If demo main entrance, for example. All right, so now while I'm adding the name of the door, you see all the related component. That's one of the amazing thing in Express Setup and a lot of other things. For example, I could say set already what type of lock I have, fail safe, fail secure, everything. We can do everything there while you're in that screen. All right, so since I'm done, I'm gonna hit OK. And I have my controller, my connection set and ready to go. Of course, we still have to get ready on the communication part. So I have the connection. All right, here is the connection created. Okay, we had the Express setup. We just did that. We had that screen here. Since we're using a KT1, the screen was different. The Express setup screen came according to the equipment that you have. If you have KT400, it's 4 doors, or you have 4 set of selection and stuff like that. Okay, then the next step is checking the communication status. We're going to see how we're doing with communication. I'm pretty sure we're not doing so good because we did not prepare the equipment yet. So here I have IP device communication fail. That's when we're going to play with, let's see if we can see the camera better. Yep, I'm pretty sure now you're seeing the camera. Okay, I hope so. Let me adjust the camera, then we'll put it back the way. Yeah, I think it's good like that. So you see the reset button and so on and so on. And we'll be doing prepare the equipment together. Okay, now we're going to get the equipment ready because right now we have to get in the equipment and dashboard, if we call it that way, to program it. So let's see how that's done. Normally, if you have a one button to do everything in the controller, so I'm going to do what we call a factory reset. The way you do the factory reset, and it's stated in that label here. So we're going to put the controller in programming mode, then we'll make the selection, then we'll confirm. How do we put it on programming mode? You press and you hold for 3 seconds. And the controller will do 5 beep, 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 beep. Asking you, what do you want? And you're gonna say, okay, I want to do a reset. How you do that? You're gonna press it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then the controller will repeat the 1, 2, 3 for you to make sure, so is it what you want? And then you confirm. So let's do that together. I'm gonna do it, you watch. I'm gonna press and hold for 3 seconds. All right. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna press and hold for 3 seconds again. Now the controller is factory reset, which it's also what we call the DHCP reset. All right, so that reset we just did also push the controller on DHCP board. Now, while the controller is on DHCP mode, okay, so now we're going to see what can be done. Since it's on DHCP mode, which means to grab an IP on your network, I mean on my network right now. So there are multiple ways on finding what IP the controller got. We're gonna try some ways. All right, so of course you could use a IP scanner. You could ask the admin of that network. Oh, sorry, HTTP. I'm going to show you something here. All right. I'm going to, let me show you. I go, no, that's not what I need to show you. No. 1 second. So I'm going to type HTTP, then I'm going here typing the / KT, then the last 3 pair of the MAC. In my case, is 5F0E53. Too late. Too late. Normally, by doing that, I would get to that page. Not too late after all. All right. And it's asking me some, you do what needs to be done, and then you access the controller. Cool. Now I am in the controller. How did I do that? I type HTTP semicolon / KT dash, and then the last 3 pair of the MAC address. And by doing that, it's gonna bring me here. Okay, so normally it brings me to a page where I select EntraPass. Then when I select EntraPass, since I'm in the same network, the software already push the configuration in. That's why you end up that way. But normally I should be having EntraPass. I mean, some selection there to make. And after the selection, I will add the IP of my server where the gateway is. And since my controller we made on DHCP, I don't have to change anything, and I hit save. These went, yep, very fast. Since I'm in the same network and I programmed the connection already, it was able to get in touch with the controller and say, hey, come over here. and I'm already communicating. Cool. So we have the communication. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to close this one. So we have communication with the controller. All right. So I have my controller communicating. I could, let me see, try a card since I have all my wiring and my reader connected and nothing is happening. Why nothing's happened? Because right now I have my reader connected RS485 to the controller. So I'm still having something more to do. When you have the reader connected RS485, you have to add the reader. There is one more step to do. I have to go to Devices, Controller, and I will have to add here, for example, I will have to add the serial number of the reader because now we're using the reader in smart mode, remember. So on the back of the reader, I have the serial number of the reader, and that's what we're going to add here. Okay, now, since everything is connected correctly, you can see here, you know what, give me a second, let me change this here. I like it better like that. Bang. Okay. So here you see there is an event coming saying controller or module not assigned, and it show me the serial number of the reader. And since I'm really like doing right click, let me show you. I go and I do right click and I say edit and I say, you know what, assign. And let me show you what will happen. It will automatically assign the reader to the controller. If you have, for example, since it's a KT1, I just have one door setup. But if it was a KT 400 or a KT2, I would have to select which door that reader belong to. For now, I don't have to do that because I only have one door anyway. All right, so my reader is added. Now let's do some cleanup here. For example, here I have something saying controller. I don't like to have my programming with controller 1, controller X, controller Z. We should take the time, it's a couple of seconds sometime, and add the name. This is KT1 man, and in my case, of course, I'm sure you, I'm sure you have your naming convention. Ah, what's happening here? I guess my keyboard, okay, we leave it that way. All right, all right, all right. Now, I'm going to review my controller. I go devices controller, making sure my format for the reader is okay. I'm gonna add, because I have the IO Smart. Actually, you know what? Let me add it. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I press escape. Let's get back then. I'm going devices controller, and I have IO Smart XSF. That's what I have right now. So you set up your reader. I mean, of course, I could do that after. Let's see what's the step telling us. Are we done with this? Where were we? Here. Okay, so we do have controller added. We did verify we have communication. Then we're going to move forward with the programming. So right now, review. We have created the site. We have created connection. We have a connection ready. We have communication. And of course, what we could do will be very useful, will be to make sure, let's test. Actually, we can do some cleanup here. We don't need that many. And what I just did is a right click and delete event. Those events are just deleted in this desktop, but they're still in your event and for reporting and stuff like that. So I swipe and I have access, deny, card unknown, which means it's working. All right. It's important to make sure all your component works before you start, moving forward. For example, here I have the door. Since I have door contact, it will be wise. Yeah, I just force my door and I see my door contact is working. Wonderful. All right. I think I also have an exit button. Request to exit is there. Okay, so it's important making sure everything is working fine, all your components are working before you keep moving forward, adding, doing more programming. Okay, so since everything is working, reader working, door contact is working, exit button is working, now I can move forward. I'm gonna see what else. So now, since my system is pretty much set, I have my door online, everything. So now I have to will work on the user, right? People to get in and out. What need to be done? What are the next step? So now, in order to work on the card holder, we need to make sure they have the proper access level. What that mean, access level? We need to, the access level is remember we are using an example of a system with 6 doors, right? Now, let's say we have IT room, we have conference room, we have the main entrance room, you have the warehouse, you have the and so on, right? Now, the access level is to which of those doors user X or user Y or user Z has access to. That's the access level. Now, before we can create the access level, there is another component important, that's the schedule. We need to know, okay, from what time to what time the person can have access to the door. Maybe that's somebody who can have access 24/7. Maybe that's someone who can have access during business hours. So we need, based on what I just mentioned, we need to make sure we have schedule, right? And then we'll get access level, and then we'll be able to create card holder, all right? So let's get to it. Let's do a couple of examples for schedule. We're gonna do a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and we'll do a 9 to 13, to 1 p.m. on Saturday, for example. Then we will do an always, we can call that a 24/7 security. We'll do those two, okay? Now, let's get to it. We go, where do we find schedule? Is under definition, and we go schedule. Okay, now you already have one there, always valid. If you check, for example, this one you cannot modify, you cannot change, you cannot do, that's it. Default one there with the system. And if you need it 24/7 schedule for user, you should create one. The always valid, that's a schedule there that you could use for component where you really need that cannot be changed by mistake. For example, if you have the security team, right? You can add to those people that type of schedule, because you don't want there is an emergency and then somebody's blocked because they had a wrong access level or a wrong schedule assigned to them. So you have some possibly some card holder or some functionality that you will require schedule, you could add that. But any other situation, create your own. For example, I'm gonna create 24/7 all day. 24/7, that's 24/7. So how do I create 24/7? I will do 0000 2400, and I select every day since that 24/7, and even the holiday. All right, holiday, you have 4 group of holiday. So by doing that, no matter we have a day set as holiday, someone with that schedule on their profile will still have access to the location. Okay, so this is created. Now remember, the other one was working hours and workout. Okay, workout. And we had that 0900 to 1700, and we had that Monday to Friday, and we had Saturday with a different time frame. So for that, I'm selecting another whoa, 0900 to 1300, just Saturday, and I save. So you notice here I did not select holiday, which means if the first day of the year is a Monday, that person with that schedule will not be able to have access. All right. So, which means we just create schedule, but you also have something else called holiday. Holiday that's we have. Let me go ahead and ask for some help here. As you see, I'm using it so you know and you're aware that there are. You just click on it and it bring you exactly where we at. We are on the holiday definition. And holiday is treated differently than other days. It is recommended to program holiday at the beginning of the year. This helps you to modify floating holidays for the current year. Yeah, please don't just go in the system and create holiday forever, because sometime the holiday don't end up in the same day. For example, this year might happen on a Monday, and next year might happen on a Saturday on it. So now that's help you to review what the holiday is and how you can set them up. Okay, so I suggest you take some moment and review that. I will just remind or just get your attention that you have two main type of holiday. You have what you call system holiday, and you have the site holiday. And this is important, especially for where you have system. They are in multiple time zone, multiple countries, multiple location, and sometimes an holiday for you at your location might not be an holiday for some another site that you have in a different country, different location. So if it's an holiday for everybody, so you can create it as a system holiday. If it's just an holiday for some location, you can create a site holiday. But you will see that when you go on the help to, review the subject. For now, we do have the schedule created. Remember, we had it like scheduled. So we have those two created. Then we're gonna work on access level. All right. So to make it having more sense, I'm going to add another controller. So we have, so like that, I will have more than one door, because right now we will, how to add another controller in an existing connection. I just select the connection, and here a connection can go up to 32. But since I'm in a demo version, you see it's only telling me two. The demo version, you can have two controller. So I have one already. I am going to set the other one. And the other one, just to have bunch of those, I'm gonna say KT400 warehouse. So I have to select KT400. Once it says controller in series, you deal with serial number. So you need to get the serial number in the controller, but it's not, I don't have to do it now. That means you could do your whole programming since you know what type of controller you're going to have, and then you could add those information after. Express setup, yes. Let's say I have door contact and X. I have door contact at all my door, and some door I have X, some not, I don't. I'm gonna click on advanced. Remember, we have a video, a link, so you just click on that. So here, that's where you have the door name. You could change the door name and stuff like that. So now I have on my door. All right, so I just want a door so we can do the access level with more sense to us. Where do I find access level? I go to user access level. And then remember, the same way you had a default schedule, you also have a default access level, and it's saying always valid, cannot be modified. That's the type of access you will add to the chief of security, to some or the person responsible for emergency, you will have those. So there is nobody by mistake just updating something, just happen to put the wrong schedule for some. That will not happen because this is a access level. The same way the schedule, the default one cannot be modified, this one either. Which mean if you need an access level 24/7, you create one. So I come here, say 24/7, 24/7. I mean, in that case, I will call it 24/7 all doors because I did add all the doors. Right? So done. Then I'm going to create my working hour, work day, work week, working hour. Okay. And remember, the access level, it's a matter of which door someone has access to. For example, here I'm going to say working hour main entrance. Right? Which mean here I only come here and I say working hour. Someone in that location with that access level will be able to access the main entrance door. That's it. Those for the door, they will need somebody to give them access to because they all set to none, right? While somebody else, for example, I'm gonna say warehouse manager, warehouse team, all right, they will have the main entrance because they need to access the location at the first place. Then we can give them, you know, the door they could have access to. So I have created, let's get back to the step by step. I have created my schedule. All right, then I create access level. Then I'm going to create user. Creating new user, select the user tab, select, let's go. So there are a couple of ways you could create your user. Okay, but let's go with the 100% usable one. You have the card with you and you go, I mean, you know the card number of you're going to assign to the person. So I go user access level, new, and here I'm gonna get the name of the person, GTI, GTI. I mean, the name of the card assigned to the card. It can be a person, it can be a department. Here, I'm going to select card type, please. Very, very useful. Now, of course, I'm going to send you back to the help. Card definition, you take your time and do some reading. You will be amazed on that option. Then you're going to add the email. Then you're going to add the card number. I have the card number with me here. Of the card you're going to assign, and you're going to add the access level. I'm gonna say this is from warehouse, that security team, so it has access. All right, time of the truth. All right, let's take a look now. Let's do some cleanup. We're quite some event there. And that's the time to swipe the card. And I have access denied, card unknown. Oh, what happened, Jocelyn? I probably make a mistake on the, let me check, card number. Okay, I have 8110. Oh, yep, 8110. Okay, so that's normal that the card didn't work. Now I have access granted And of course, I should unlock the door and lock the door. That's it. So you have your card tested, confirmed, door is unlocking. You could even see if I swipe again, you see the window change to green. Let me show you what to show you. You should be able to see now. The door first open. I swipe and the window change to green. Okay. Get back to normal screen. Now we are the backup. So you want a system check. With system check mean you need to make sure all your component working. That's when you swipe in the main entrance is not happening. That's the back door. Your contact is fine. Your X doors, we checked them already. Then you have to make a backup, please. All right, so the system is ready to go. In fact, we make a backup right after we install the software, and then we make a backup after we finish the programming. So we have backup 0 and we have backup 1. To make the backup, we go to the backup tab. In the normal software, you go to option, backup scheduler. Since you're on the demo, there is a tab saying backup, and you select automatic backup. Then you hit now. If you have a USB and something, you could come here or specify folder. All right. Otherwise, you go on backup folder, default folder, and you hit now. When you hit now, you will see you wait until it's telling you backup completed. And once the backup is completed, please get your USB and make a backup of that backup. Make a copy of the backup. Because sometimes people make backup every Sunday. Let me get back to the backup. When I say every Sunday, you see by default it's weekly Sunday at usually at 4 a.m. But you could do backup daily, monthly. It's up to you. You could also change the date. Now it is important to make a copy of that backup and move it in elsewhere, because if you make backup every week and you leave it in the same computer, I'll let you imagine what happened if something happened to that hard drive. You end up with no backup, even if you're making backup every week for the past 5 to 10 years. Now, where that backup is, Justin, is on default folder. The default folder means you need to go to the C drive, program 86, contact, server, and since I'm in demo, I'm gonna go server, CE demo, and backup. All right, and here is my backup. So one moment, backup is not done yet. Of course, made the demo version. All right, let's see. I leave it on specified folder and I said backup. All right, but that's how you make the backup, and that's where you will find it when you're on your normal EntraPass. Here we go, my friend. So we went step by step. We'll make sure to have a link on that documentation on the detail of that recording. All right, so please, I thank you. Thank you for your time, and I hope these will help you. Okay. Thank you very much.